Today, I'm going to be discussing why I feel that humans should be eating a plant-based diet. Um, I'm going to break it down into a few different categories. Let's start with physically how we're built. So, if you take a look at our jaw and teeth, our jaws can move from side to side, up and down, and and other animals that can do that are animals like horses and cows and monkeys, which are plant-based animals, and that's built. Why we have that is so that we can thoroughly chew our greens from side to side to break them down into a creamy consistency, because plants have a very thick cell wall that needs to be broken down. So us chewing from side to side um, can break down these foods. Um, we don't have very sharp teeth like lions or tigers uh, who eat meat. They have these sharp teeth so they can bite into, so they can leap onto an animal and bite right into them. And their teeth only move, their jaws only move from up and down, not from side to side. So we resemble plant-based animals a lot more than we can relate to animal eaters, to carnivores. Um, well, some would argue, well, if you look at our teeth, we do have sharp teeth in the front. Yes, they are sharp, but they're not sharp like a lion's are. Um, I feel that our teeth are a little sharp in the front to eat harder, consistent fruits or plants, like maybe an apple. Biting into an apple, the skin can be quite hard. On top of that, let's take a look at our senses. So, uh, our sight. We can see quite a wide array of different colors and shades, and I feel that is used so we can differentiate between different plants, which ones are edible and which ones are not. Because in a forest, there's so many different colors, and for us to narrow down on which foods are edible can can be deducted down to if what color it is that would help us identify foods. Um, let's take smell. So if we come up to wild carrot, what we think is a wild carrot. Well, wild carrots look very similar to poison hemlock, and if you smell a wild carrot, it'll smell sweet compared to the poison hemlock, which would smell bitter and sour. Um, so all these things, they help us to be able to differentiate what's edible and what's not, to inevitably promote our survival, which is the goal of all organisms. Let's go to our taste. So, uh, tasting the difference between different plants. Usually, the sweeter tasting plants will be the ones that are healthy for us, and ones that taste very bitter and you can't even put in your mouth because they're so sour, are probably going to be the plants that are not edible. Let's see. We have hearing now, so maybe we can use our hearing to be able to hear upcoming predators that are coming, or to be able to hear different birds, and we can, with our memory, with our great memories as well, we'll be able to tell the difference between frequencies, and be able to classify what type of bird we're hearing, and maybe that would lead us to a certain food source, where we see the bird, we know the bird usually hangs around, and as well as our touch. If you come up to milkweed, milkweeds can look like dog banes, but if you touch the underside of the leaves, the milkweed leaves will be very furry on the underside, while dog banes aren't. So milkweed can be edible if you cook it. Otherwise, it's not edible. So all these things are promoting our survival. And if you take a look at everything that we're equipped with, it it leans us towards a plant-based diet. let's say moving on to, let's say, the digestive tract. We have a very long digestive tract, and it takes us 24 hours to process foods. While you look at other animals, they have very short digestive tracts, like dogs, and and um, and then they'll digest their foods for a very long time. Like a lion will digest its food, and it'll digest it for 2 days. And while humans usually eat many times in the day. Also, if you look at our bodies, our bodies are equipped to be constantly moving. It's amazing what our bodies can do. We can jump, we can pull our bodies up a tree, we can climb things, we can swim. We can't fly, but we can still do a lot of different things. And us being able to move around promotes us foraging for different foods. Let's see, what else? We're also not equipped with any natural hunting tools that would help us hunt. You look at any animal that naturally eats other animals will have something about it that would help it to eat animals. For example, animals can have very long claws, very long sharp claws to be able to cut open an animal. While we don't have that, we have opposable thumbs to be able to grasp onto things, to climb, run away. And what else? We don't have sharp teeth, like I mentioned. We have poor night vision. We can't even sneak up onto animals while they're sleeping for an easy kill. We also don't really salivate when we spot a deer in the forest. What would you do if you spotted a deer in the forest? Most people would just say, "Oh, how cute," and try to come up to the deer and pet it. Like your mouth doesn't salivate to prepare your body to eat a deer, while animals that are naturally born killers will salivate and want to leap onto the deer and then eat the deer. I'd like to see a human try to jump onto another animal and try to bite into it. You'd probably jump onto the animal, and then the animal, you try to take a bite, nothing would happen. The animal would just kick you and walk away. We're not that strong compared to other carnivores. We're strong enough to be able to pull our bodies up, to go climb up a tree. I've read in places where we used to live in the trees a long time ago. Also, we have an enormous intelligence. We can remember tons of things. We have a giant database as an intelligence, and I feel that that's used for us to be able to memorize which plants are edible, which ones aren't, which foods we can eat, which ones we can't. Being able to memorize the different smells we've smelled, different tastes we've tasted, different things we've heard for identifying animals. And what was I getting at here? And as well, we're able to pass on information. We have this inborn need to pass on information. We love gossip and we love to tell stories, and that's inborn within us, I feel, to be able to share on to the next generations what we've learned, so the next generations can learn that and to grow and to expand knowledge. And there's so much variety within nature as well, and that variety is made for us, so we can learn. Well, oh yeah, one last thing. Some people would argue, well, okay, we don't have the inbuilt tools to be able to hunt, but we have our intelligence, so we can make bow and arrows, we can make knives to be able to hunt these animals. Well, I feel that intelligence, like I mentioned earlier, is strictly for expanding our database and not for eating animals. If you look at chimpanzees, they do every once in a while eat a small bird. So maybe there is a place in our diets for a small amount of animal, but definitely not much. And we should be. I feel that we mostly should be eating a plant-based diet. Okay, that's all.